Welcome back to Hands Up. Now we're going to get to the second segment of the show, which is called the flashback. You know, because flashback is an essential part of Tamil films, and behind every hero there is this story how he was like, you know, on the roads with rags, with no clothes or whatever. But hey, nothing's changed on your behalf. You're still without clothes.
So he takes off his clothes also.
So now that you are without clothes, what was it before you had to get to a place where it was cool to be without clothes? Ganesh, tell us a story. Just a quick flashback on your life. Think about the most powerful scene, which if we were to go put it in your biopic, what would that scene be?
Well, in the industry, I started after winning the Glandrags Manhunt contest in 2003. And well, it was a lot of struggling years, to be honest with you, because first modeling. Then
the Glandrags Manhunt itself, you make it sound like that was the easiest step, but how was that step?
All right, okay. I was working in a software company when that happened. And I was not, modeling was something that I had done on a very amateur basis in college and school level and stuff, and I'd never thought of it professionally, though there was a very valid interest. While I was in the first year of my job, my friends got me the Gladrags form, and they were just behind me to fill the form and go.
Do they have this swimsuit round and all?
Yeah, you have 3 rounds actually.
Okay.
You've got the first introduction round, then the swimsuit round, and then the question answer round.
Okay.
So I went
so being without clothes has not been a problem for you, really.
Well, swimming trunks. When you go to a swimming pool, you can't be going in a suit naturally, right? You go in a swimming trunk. So it was a swimming trunk round, like you say. So only when I went for that contest, I could see the kind of competition there, and that was an eye opener that, hey, I'm quite good, and if I hone my skills, if I just sort of groom up a bit, I can win this. And that's what happened in the next 1 month, and I was working then.
So you won the Gladrags 2003. You were the winner of that show.
Yeah.
Okay, now in Bombay, there's good-looking part is the easiest because there are chock-a-block good-looking people all around.
All
so how did you make the break from breaking the clutter from good-looking people to being an actor? Because
I was into modeling. I was doing ramp shows and stuff like that. When the inclination towards acting suddenly set in, I wanted something that would creatively satisfy me. It so happened is I enrolled into theatre. A friend of mine was going, and I saw what was happening, and it got me interested. And I just joined this theatre workshop for 2 weeks, and I totally.
So this is like luck by chance, Farhan Akhtar kind of a thing.
No, I think my story is a little different. It was more of searching for myself and finding that. Those were the years, and there was a lot of struggling years going for auditions, for advertising, television serials and all. And that's the actual period that makes a man out of you. That struggle is the time where...
How many years was the struggle?
You can say roughly 3 years.
In these 3 years, have you had to do things which were against your principles to make it big?
No, I was very clear about the fact that...
we know what we are talking about.
Yeah, it's there in the industry.
You can elaborate on it if you want to.
No, it's especially in modeling.
I thought we were going to get a sad story somewhere. He's not crying. This is supposed to be the emotional part of the show. We don't make you cry and all that. He's not struggling enough. Come on. Okay, so seriously.
No, see, the good thing is I was from Bombay. I had my emotional cushion. My parents were there with me. So even the bad days, the days of struggle, where you're without money, you're without work, there's a cushion behind you. There's that emotional thing to balance it off.
Plus, you were qualified.
I was a qualified engineer, so I knew that was the backup. But I never looked at it as a backup at all. I knew that if I set my mind on this task, I'm going to get it. And by then, I had started understanding the functioning of the industry, and I knew there's a time period, and that time period you need actually. One, to make your mind strong. The second, to hone your skills. In those 3 years, I honed my skills. I honed my acting skills, my dancing, my action, everything.
So, Angrez happened, and after that...
Angrez, Abhiyum Nanu, Munnai Polo Rovan, and after Angrez, I did 2 television serials also. So, I think every bit helped me hone my skills. Okay,
now the struggle for someone behind the camera is very, very different, and we know that you actually wanted to be a cinematographer, and that dream, that bubble burst, and then you were...
Lots of... Yeah. Being an engineer, then being a cinematographer. And then, finally doing all kinds of BSc physics just to keep my parents happy that I'm up to something. But I was assisting a cinematographer at that point of time, just after college. But anyway, I mean, the thing was at that point of time, there weren't ready-made courses for me to jump in and say, yes, I want to do my visual communication or something like that. It was after 2 and 3 years of wasting my time that Loyola came up with this course called visual communication. It was the first course which I happened to join, and that suited what I wanted to do.
Okay.
So it took about 3 years to get into that kind of a thing. But of course, as far as photography is concerned, Yes, I did my visual communication, but I worked with Sharat Akhsar, a photographer based in Chennai. And then it's this struggle between quitting engineering and then, you know, you want to do what you want is what was tough. When I wanted to do cinematography, I was not able to get the right place at that point of time. And now I happen to do so many publicity shoots for feature films. And you come into contact with all the cinematographers you wanted to work with those days, like Mr. P.C. Sriram and rest of them. And it's a kind of a nice feeling at times because you meet them in a different
Tell us about
level.
that, your experience with Parithiveeran, because that was something which you developed
Parithiveeran,
even before the film was shot.
Yeah, exactly. That photo shoot was done about 6 months before they started shooting for Parithiveeran. And we had Karthi and of course the director Amir. We went down to Theni, that's the place we wanted to shoot. We shot there for 3 days in different locations. And basically even the cinematographer Ramji was there. We were trying to work on the look and feel of the movie. And at that point of time, it was before the monsoons and the place was brown in color. And it added to the tone with a little bit of warmth and all the dry grass and the brown sand, it added to the movie. But what I heard later was when they went back to shoot the actual film 6 months later, there were floods at that point of time. The whole place turned green, lush green, and they couldn't shoot there because it didn't suit the photo shoot.
Okay.
So they shifted to a place close to Madurai to continue with that tone. So what I'm trying to say is that homework which took us all together,
okay,
and we got that look and feel, where Amir didn't want to let go that feel of the movie, which they maintained throughout. If you look at Parithiveeran, it's all in tones
so
of brown.
now you're saying that's more satisfying for you.
Yeah, it is. It is because we went in there. I didn't know the story, just a hint of it. But only when I saw the movie after 1.5 years after its making, that I realized, wow, I mean, that was the effort which went in. And I was very happy to be a minute part of it in the initial stages, which I think really, you know, gave my contribution.
Okay, now you guys have really touched my heart with your stories of struggle and all, and now we're going to cut all
tears
that.
Down my eyes?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, that's enough of your sad stories. Next segment, we're going to have fun. It's a segment called Framed. But before we do that, there's this little exercise where I want you guys to draw each other. Let's see what else you got. I want you guys to do each other. I mean, draw each other.
I have a suggestion. I have a suggestion. Why don't both of us draw you?
No.
We can tally.
Okay, let's see that. Let's see how creative these guys are. And you guys stay tuned. We're going to come back for Frame.